Welcome to New Orleans. Behind me is the home office of Women with a Vision, where I have had the immense privilege of spending my summer internship doing challenging and rewarding work alongside some of the most talented, passionate, driven, and for lack of a more academically appropriate term, badass women in the Deep South. Some of the only people whose passion for social justice rivals my own. Come on in and check it out. Founded in 1989 as a grassroots effort to address the spread of HIV/AIDS in communities of color, Women with a Vision's mission is to improve the health and well-being of marginalized women in the community. They operate from a harm reduction framework to address health issues associated with survival sex work, addiction, homelessness, incarceration, intimate partner violence, poverty, and most of all, institutionalized racism. This is done primarily through community outreach, individual service-based casework, and advocacy for policy change. One of the programs at Women with a Vision is a diversion program for sex workers known internally as Emerge. It differs drastically from most court-run programs in that it is service-based, tailored to the individual, and free of charge. Through this program, women facing prostitution charges and jail time are offered an alternative through which they can gain access to services relevant to their unique situations and have their charges dropped upon successful completion of the program. Sex workers are defined in the academic and social justice communities as laborers who earn money to perform sexual services or who provide erotic entertainment to clients individually or collectively. However, the most at-risk group within this population are survival sex workers, whose work is defined as sex in exchange for money, gifts, food, shelter, clothes, or drugs. Survival sex workers often struggle with substance abuse, addiction, mental illness, and have experienced some sort of violence in their lifetime, whether it is structural or physical. Sex workers are also more frequent targets of physical and sexual violence, which is often ignored by law enforcement. All of these health issues and risk factors can be traced back to the stigma surrounding sex work and its continued status as a criminalized activity. Race, of course, also plays a significant role in women's vulnerability and likelihood of experiencing these health issues. Out of 41 sex workers murdered in the U.S. last year, 17 were Black and 12 were trans women. Incidentally, most street-based and survival sex workers in the New Orleans area are women and trans women of color. A few years ago, the Emerge program gave birth to Groundwork, a peer-led support group for current and former sex workers, specifically those who had completed the diversion program. Groundwork served as a safe space for sex workers to gather and share experiences, resources, safety information, and anything else that might affect their health and well-being. It also provided a way for graduates of Emerge to stay connected with Women with a Vision and with each other, strengthening their social network and helping to improve mental health. About a year ago, the program lost momentum. My role at Women with a Vision was to resurrect Groundwork and install safeguards to prevent another lapse in the program. During the needs assessment interviews for Groundwork, I was able to recruit 2 volunteers from the graduate pool and train them as peer facilitators for the group. Though the facilitators and I did some community outreach, most participants in the pilot group were recruited from within. They were either current participants or graduates of Emerge. As an extension of my work on Groundwork, I was able to participate in several outreach and educational events, including a trip to the Tallulah Women's Correctional Facility to meet with their reentry coordinator, and active participation in the Desiree Alliance Triannual Conference for Sex Workers' Rights. I addressed the competencies of my internship through casework, training, creating written materials for outreach and internal use, making plans for the future of Groundwork, and working with collaborators to empower Emerge participants through skill building, goal setting, and connecting clients with resources and support services when necessary. As a nearly invisible subset of the population, survival sex workers are not frequently targeted by providers of mental health, emergency housing, and other essential services. In fact, many of those types of services are only available if recipients abstain from sex work and drug use, often an unrealistic option for Women with a Vision's clients, as the economic and social stability are typically a prerequisite for drug recovery, and even with the option of legal employment, many women prefer to remain involved in sex work, something we neither shame nor actively discourage at Women with a Vision. By offering this kind of support and stability, we hope to mitigate the effects of resource disparities experienced by survival sex workers in this community. Thank you for taking time to learn about the work that I got to do here at Women with a Vision. They are an incredibly important nonprofit doing tremendously valuable work here in the New Orleans community. It has been an inspiration and a privilege to serve here.